Soap Police, and Arrive Alive, Drive Sober.
This is Rogers TV. Barry.
So today we just did a photo shoot for Jerry and Eric's website, as well as for me and my sponsor. So it really gets our sponsors and our brand out there, as well as it helps them because they have amazing shots to use for their website. So it's basically a win-win for both of us.
When you're standing like this, okay, you're going to kind of bring it over to your right a little bit, and your chin's going to stay down. Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's actually really tiring, and the bright lights and stuff. It's definitely such a unique experience that I'm really glad I get to go through. I wish everybody could get to experience it.
So I'm hoping that if I do it right, that light only kisses off the back of you, all right? And this light here is just going to light up this side of you, but this side kind of goes.
But it's definitely a lot of work on their end and mine, as well as fun. We all have fun, so. Not a lot of people do stuff like this, but I'm fortunate enough to be approached by Jerry and Eric for them to want me to be part of their website building experience.
There we go. I really like that with the car.
Yeah.
It's just not overpowering it. Mobile One's still there, which is what I really wanted.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple where we're getting a little bit of kick off the light off that.
This definitely helps me with PR and marketing if I was to go into social media and design. So that helps me set up what I want to show my clients off for products. So that definitely does help because they give really great ideas, as that's what they're doing. They're marketing me and my sponsors for myself and for their website too.
That's awesome.
The lettering is so nice the way it comes from there.
So personally, for the photos that we took today, they'll go on my website, my social media. They'll be sent to all my sponsors. I can use them for my hero cards and things like that, as well as hopefully a sponsor could be like, wow, this is really cool, and they'll end up sharing it as well. Oh my gosh. It's like 1,000 degrees.
Get some gloves.
No. Oh. Last week was our worst night yet out on the track as far as finishes go and as far as our car was handling. Unfortunately, that's sometimes the way it is. We went from our best finish the week before to our worst finish overall for the whole weekend. So we're kind of disappointed in that, especially because we had a great weekend the weekend before. But it's something you kind of have to expect, especially when you're dealing with how your car changes to the weather, how it's changing to some of the changes we're making. And again, it's a lot to do with how the driver reacts to different changes, and me potentially not reacting or potentially not knowing how to drive when it comes to what changes we're making might be a factor as well. So we're kind of hoping that the changes we threw at the car this week are going to be a little bit better, but it is disappointing to have bad nights, but you can't let it stick. I mean, every race and every weekend is a new opportunity to improve and to change, so you kind of have to just take it like that and can't let something hold you back.
Over here.
So this week week we are buying 2 right side tires for my car, which my dad will be measuring up right in here for me. What do you say, Dad?
Why right side?
The right side tires burn off faster and get used more. So then when you buy right sides, you can put your right sides that you have on the car now on your left and then get new right sides. If your sizes match up fine. I think we're gonna leave our left sides on and then use the rights we have now for spares and get new right sides. Well, you can run tires that are inches apart. It just depends in what set. So you could have like an 82-inch tire and an 85-inch tire, or you could have like an 84-inch tire and an 87. It really depends, as long as you match up your sets properly and you have, we run 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 inches of stagger. So it doesn't really matter if it's 84 or 87, as long as the left side matches with 3 inches difference. So we just use the inflation and the size of the tire to match our stagger. You do need to get around the size of the tire that you need, and then you can work it a little bit to get the actual size that you need if they don't have it for you. Can I buy 2 tires, please?
Yep, let me just grab the call out exchange.
Changes up on the KNR bar, and the sway bar is looser than it normally is that I can remember. So hopefully when the car comes around, it's going to turn in the middle. And once you turn, I want you to work that gas hard driving out. If it gets loose a little bit, we'll work on that. But I want to see more pedal coming out.
Okay, sounds good.
Half a car deeper, harder brake turn. Big gas all the way out. Oh, come on, go get him. Better in the 3, harder brake, cut, and big drive off. Right up, right up. Don't get him off. Come in half a car wider is the one. Half a car wider. Half a car wider is the 4x10. Track's all yours. It's the whole track. Half a car wider is the one. Half a car deeper, hard brake, set to go. Turn it. And now drive it off. Drive it off. You got it. 4x10. Little loose in. You need more front brake.
What is the tire at?
They were way high, so it would have wanted to skate out of the corner.
That's exactly how it felt.
But we may have gone like further on the free side than we wanted to. But we can adjust, because it was low on wedge, so we can put a little wedge to it to try and give you more forward bite after the car's cut.
Because like it was loose in and then really good in the middle and then loose out.
Okay, well that's good considering what we've been struggling with. So you can have another practice. We can make an adjustment. You'll see how well the car handles to the change we make.
Yeah.
And then in the qualifying, we'll just put the new tires on, and you just qualify on them. Worst case scenario, you're going to qualify towards the back where you have anyhow.
Where, yeah. And then if it's good for the feature, then it's good for the feature.
Right.
Okay, let's just do that.
So make a wedge adjustment, cut the tires in qualifying. Okay.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace TV. Enjoy exclusive content for free. Visit RogersAnyplaceTV.com.
When I felt hopeless, United Way had my back. In the summer of 2015, I lived only to feed my addictions. I had lost my friends, family, and business, and was homeless and broke. I attempted suicide again. In the hospital, I faced more rehab and counseling, but had no hope. A referral to a walk-in counseling clinic funded by the United Way made all the difference. In the sessions that followed, I discovered that childhood sexual assault was at the core of my struggles. I still have work to do, but I'm feeling happy and hopeful. I can't ever remember feeling like that. My name's Jeff, and donations to United Way Simcoe Muskoka helped change my life. Thank you.
What kind of show do you want to see on Rogers TV? What interests you? Log on to rogerstv.com, fill out a show proposal, and tell us about your segment idea. We want to know what you want to see. Rogers TV, only on Rogers.
First practice was in some areas a lot better and in some areas a lot worse than it was last weekend. We definitely hit a really good spot for the center of the corner, but we were very loose going in and very loose coming out. As well as it's super hot and it's super humid, so it's going to be really slick out there and it's going to be really loose with me and everybody else out there. So it is hard to tell, is it the changes we made or is it because of the track or is it both? I think it's because of both, but a lot of it was definitely, I think the changes we made. It's some things that I can tell if it's the truck or the car, and it did feel like kind of a mix of both. But definitely a lot better, especially in the middle of the corner. And with the tight being gone, it's a lot easier for me to drive the looser car. Hey, Papa.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So my grandfather, my mom's dad, he is a huge inspiration to my racing. He raced for years and he loves being out here in the garage. He always loves coming to the track. He loves racing.
This is my Papa. His name's Wally. He used to race.
Just a little blurry, that's all.
He used to race a long time ago, and I'm really excited for him to be here tonight. This is the first night he'll see me racing my late model. And I'm really excited for him to be here tonight.
He always loves coming to the track. He loves racing. He loves race cars. He loves everything about the sport. And I think having a daughter that was interested in it to a granddaughter that now races is something that he never thought would happen.
You're gonna let a race car driver push you.
That's right.
Push you.
So I think it's really special to him. We kind of have that bond and we share that together. It's really nice to be able to be so close and share something like that with somebody so close to me and so important.
There's a green flag here tonight.
And yeah, I just think it's super important to be able to share this stuff with your family, and that's why we're here.
It's a good spot. Good enough.
It's nice to come from him and my dad coming down to me. It's a really special and really unique family tradition, I think. So I think having a family, I think him having a family that's so interested in racing, especially because he lives with us and he gets to see this every day, it's definitely something unique that is passed along.
Yeah, a lot of changes have happened to the car today. Last weekend, the car was really tight, which again, the car was unable to turn for, so you're struggling to get through the corners, you can't get on the gas early. So one of the worst conditions you can have in the race car as far as keeping speed in the race car. So we made a bunch of changes this week at the shop to try and free up the car, make it turn a little better, and it worked really well. In the first practice, the car was almost too free. So it was turning too well and it was loose off. So when we came in after the first round of practice, we made some changes to try and go back towards where we were, kind of find that happy medium, and that's what the struggle is with these cars right from the get-go. Where is it tight? Where is it loose? Where is it turning? Where is it not turning? And the goal is to try and get it to turn smooth and free all the way through the corner, and then when you get on the gas to get out of there, there's going to be forward bite, which will launch the car down the straightaway instead of kicking that rear end out. Although it looks kind of fancy, it's certainly not the fastest way around the racetrack. So we kind of seesawed back and forth over our 2.5 practices that we got. Hopefully now we're going out for group qualifying next out, and we're in a spot where the car's going to perform well and get some good lap times, so we have a decent starting spot for the feature. Leave that distance, don't gain on the 3 till he starts pulling. White flag this time by.
Number 3, is there any Fulmerton? The mobile one, Jesse Telecom, and the Morgan St. Number 2.
you look at the racetrack and it just looks like a simple oval, and you would think, well, if you drive through turns 1 and 2, you can drive through turns 3 and 4, and that's just not the case. There's a little bit of a wider entry going into turn 3. The corner coming off of 4 is a little different than it is coming out of 2. It's a lot tighter, so the entry and the exit out of both ends of the speedway are different, and you can be good on both ends, you can be better on one end, or kind of give up on one end, and I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, one of the spots Kendra's really giving up a lot of ground on the racetrack has been entry into turn 3. So although she's been going in a lot slower, it's helping her mid-turn and then getting off the corner. I think we need to work at getting in a little deeper, and that's what we were working at in this last practice, going in half a car deeper, and if it works, half a car deeper than that, and then back it up to that sweet spot and relearn that memory, muscle memory as far as where are my braking points and lifting points on the speedway, where's the car going to work, how hard do I have to get on the brakes in order to set the race car and get it through the end. So it's definitely going to take a little bit of time to get consistent lap times when we're hitting those marks, but that's what we're here to do, is learn and practice. And we had a lot more practice today than we have in the past, which was great. We put a lot more laps on in each practice that we were out there, so that's hopefully going to translate into some better results today than we had last week. Checkers this time by, last time here. Get a good run, don't let up. Get a big run here. Okay, buddy, we got a long time between first and second feature, so 35 laps clean and smooth. We'll take some measurements when you come in, and then we'll sit and watch some racing and then get ready for the last one, okay?
Okay, sounds good to me.
All right. You got the 48 and the 10 right behind you. You have qualified some really good cars here. Easy, easy, easy. And green, 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 green. On your bumper,
the race went bad. Again, we're back to our same problem. It seems once we run more than 10 or 12 laps, the car gets tight again. Tight, bad, and I don't really know what to do about it. This is our second week now, our third race where this has happened. Last week we actually did change our right front shock, which was actually recommended by our chassis builder, and we assumed that that would be a better idea. We had our shocks tested, and now we are at this point where we have a tight car and we can't seem to do anything to change it.
One back, 29 behind you on the inside. You're going to protect the bottom here. Protect the bottom coming out. Protect the bottom. Nice run. Remember that 28. You're in. Hold the bottom of it. Hold the bottom of it. Down. Nice work, buddy. Nice work.
We are going to go back to our old shock, and we're going to see how it handles after that. We think that we might not be getting the compression we need from the shock because this is a stiffer shock, which usually would benefit you, but we think that there's potentially it's too tight. So we're going to change that and then see about making a couple other little adjustments and then see where we go from there. When the car's tight like that, it's hard because you can't get into the corner. The car doesn't want to turn for you, and then through the corner it's the same thing. And then off, you're usually in your tight, loose situation, so the car wants to come around because you have so much wheel in the car to try to turn it through the center. So you're kind of in a bad spot around the whole track, and it's really difficult to deal with. So that's where we're kind of at right now, and we're just gonna see if this different shock is what our problem was, and hopefully it is, and hopefully we're back to normal.
On Rogers TV, we have a reality show like no other. It has a great cast of characters. Some you may have even helped land the role. Each episode has something different. Plans are devised, decisions are made, votes are cast, and money is spent. It's local reality TV that you won't want to miss. And it's exclusive to Rogers Cable customers. Catch your municipal council coverage on Rogers TV. Visit rogerstv.com for broadcast details.
I'm Wendell Clark with a word about winning. We all know it takes a team effort in any sport and with any challenge. You can be a part of the winning team that shuts out impaired driving. Whether you're out on the town or just hanging out with friends, drink responsibly. Always have a plan for a safe ride home for yourself, your family, and your friends. You'll be helping to shut out impaired driving.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
The car didn't perform in the first feature the way we had hoped it to. When we went out for final practice, we'd made some adjustments and the car was really good. That being said, we weren't able to run 35 laps in practice like we were in the feature. The car started really good in feature, was running just inside the top 10. A couple of cautions came and she was holding her spot just inside the top 10 or just outside the top 10. Excuse me, and then the car went really tight again, wouldn't turn, so we're back to struggling where we were. The car runs well for a handful of laps, 8, 10, 12, 15 laps, and then it gets really, really hard to drive. It won't turn, so she modified her line to try and accommodate for it, fell back, lost some positions, stopped fighting because the car wasn't handling well, lost a bunch of spots, and then the car came around a little bit. She was able to gain a spot or two there right at the end in the feature. So we made a bunch of changes going into our second feature. One change we made last week, which was the start of it starting to not turn well, was the right front shock. Now, we had some dyno numbers on our shocks and it was recommended that we try a different shock, and that's what we've run. We just can't seem to get a handle on it. So we thought, let's go back to where we were, and that'll isolate whether that is the problem or maybe it's something else that's going away in the car halfway through the feature. So we put our old right front shock on, mimicked everything else that we've done, and we're pretty much going to go out and have another shot at it. You know, Kendra and I were talking, and she said, hey, we're going to get what we're going to get. The car's been really bad the last 3 features that we've run, so we're only going to do the same or better, and that was kind of reassuring. We don't want to be running the way we're running, but again, tough field, tough changes, and fortunately, you know, we're all game for making some changes.
Okay, no other changes.
Yeah.
You race it how you race it, and if you end up where you ended up in the first feature, it's no worse than we were going to do if we didn't make any changes, right?
Rude as hell, but true.
So.
Because I can't do any worse. But it's okay. And just send it.
Good job.
So with the second feature, we're hoping to do a lot better than we did in the first feature. We finished 16th in the first feature. I think we were last on track. Honestly, I was really disappointed with that, especially because my grandfather's here for the first time this year, and I was hoping to really impress him and show him what I could do. But hopefully we can do that this feature, and with the new changes and the new shock, hopefully the car will handle good from start to finish.
Outside, outside, one lane open, one back, outside. Outside, nice work, outside.
The car was really, really well. The changes we made and changing that shock was amazing, and it changed the car a million times better than I thought it would.
Long way to go here, buddy. Hit your mark. Caution. Whoa, 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 whoa. Great job.
A lot of incidents tonight, but I can't be happier with how we raced.
Green, 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 green. Stick to that 28. Wider into one, outside, 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 on your bumper and outside. Whoa, 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 stay low. This is the worst the cars look coming off the racetrack, and it's one of the best we've had. That double top 10 night was great, but this was even better. Like Kendra said, we made that adjustment to try and get the car turning better than it had been the last 3 features. It came around. That's something we can definitely work with. And she's, like she said, she's going to start racing harder when those are racing her. So. 69, moving inside, 69 inside, 69 inside, you can beat up, 69 inside, inside, and hold them down. Inside, 69 inside, clear, 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 set them up, clear, clear, clear. That was aggressive. Get going there, catch the pack. Okay, I missed that, sorry. Have a nice 69's coming up here. 69's coming up. Don't do that, don't do that.
I wasn't looking, you just slammed on the brakes right in front of me.
Black flag right waving for the 69. Black flag there for the 69.
He just slammed on the brakes right in front of me.
Okay, well I didn't know that you weren't watching, so get the pack here, buddy. We got 6 laps to pick up a few spots here. I thought you were feeding him the bumper and then he stood on the brakes, so they're black flagging him. Watch that he doesn't wreck you again, Kenny. Just hold the mark there.
So on the back straightaway, the car that I spun out decided to stand on the brakes, so I would hit him, and that's really stupid. So the speedway just black flagged him, and he couldn't finish the race because he wanted to do something silly for revenge under caution, and that's on him and not me. I bend a couple body panels, but he gets kicked out of the race, so.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
With NHL Center Ice, you get a premium ticket to the games you want every night of the season. With up to 37 out-of-market games a week to choose from, you'll get more goals, more saves, more non-stop action from the teams you love. NHL Center Ice, part of the Super Sports Pack. For only $35.95 a month, Rogers customers get all this. Order through your remote or call 1-888-ROGERS-1 today.
Summer days, summer nights, lots of things to do, places to go, and people to see. If you're having a few drinks, be sure to plan ahead and get home safely. We don't want to pick you up. Drinking drivers risk injuries to themselves and others and take chances with their license, their jobs, and their future. Remember what's at stake and choose your ride, whether you're the driver, the passenger, or the party host. Thanks for supporting sober driving. I hope we never meet.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more.
This is Rogers TV. Barry.
Welcome to this episode of In Search of the Ultimate Two-Wheel Classic. And today we're